Thank you for joining us this evening for the November 2024 Monte Sereno Youth Commission regular meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, I would like to point out a few house rules to assist the commission, staff, and members of the public to successfully participate in the meeting. For tonight's meeting, Zoom is being used to allow public participation with the Youth Commission regular meeting. For those using Zoom to participate, there are two icons, chat and raise hand. Please use chat only to report technical issues such as being unable to hear a commissioner member speaking. Please use raise hand to be recognized by the chair and unable to speak to the commission. Only attendees using the Zoom application can use this raise hand option to comment. Participants calling in from a telephone will only be able to listen and cannot provide feedback or public comment. Lastly, when we're not all in the same room, all the votes in the meeting must be taken by roll call. So we'll go ahead and call to order the meeting at 7:09 p.m. I'll go ahead and start with your roll call. Commissioner Zeiler, not present. Commissioner Jacob?
Here.
Commissioner Stouch?
Here.
Commissioner Duthlock?
Here.
Commissioner Dinka? Not here. So I've got two commissioners, by the last name of Charna.
Here.
Here, thank you. And Commissioner Hampton is not here. But we have a quorum to proceed. All right, there is no unfinished business. And so moving on to new business, we have the introduction of the Monte Sereno Youth Commission members and selection of the Monte Sereno Youth Commission Chair, Vice Chair, and Secretary. Do you have any questions regarding the three positions? Okay, seeing that there's no one in chambers, no hands raised, we'll close public comment at this point and then move on to your guys' discussion. You guys can either vote or select someone amongst you, and we can start off by electing secretary. Is there any volunteers or anybody that wants to, select someone?
This might be a stupid question, but can we like go over exactly what each job does for this?
Oh, no, not stupid at all. So chair, we'll start, our chair is the person who will be leading our meetings. They will be, go over in every item, directing us to proceed with staff reports, and then also opening it for public comments, and then gathering, any information, any comments from you guys to then, direct staff or our support member to come back in another meeting with information. Vice chair will substitute in for our chair when they are not here present. But for the most part, there is a support to our chair. And then we have secretary who just will present minutes for the meeting that we have. And we have already kind of a template for that. So whoever's interested in that, it's very straightforward, their action in it. So it's just basically making sure we covered, in general, the item that was discussed, who presented, if there was any actions taken, and the votes on that. And I will work with those individuals on making sure we have them. So you'll have recordings, you'll have me to talk to, because I like to also kind of write my own my notes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
One last thing, the chairperson is supposed to give a status or a report to the city council at the end of the year.
Yes, so this year we are going to do that. We haven't done that in a while. But that's the idea, that between now and the second Tuesday, the second meeting in December for the city council, I'd like to have our chair and vice chair actually attend this meeting. If either of them can't, I'd like to have somebody else step in. But it will be kind of just an overview of what the youth commission has accomplished, from the beginning of the fiscal year to December, so. It's
And what's
too
gonna
big.
happen in 2025?
And yeah,
And we're not talking about a big involved process, no slides, unless you're really into slides, but 2 or 3 minutes.
okay,
It's fun. We're a nice council, we won't fight.
Yes, we have a fantastic council, so. Nothing to be intimidated by.
You should not have PowerPoint presentation. I thought such.
You can do it.
PowerPoint presentation.
And
You
I'll
can
be
do a
here to support
PowerPoint,
you.
an entire video, like.
As you can see, we're all set up for it.
Yes, we can. Any other questions? So let me know, one, do we have a volunteer to be our secretary? Okay, Jeff,
Thank you.
anybody else want this? Okay, so at this point, you guys can proceed with making a motion of selecting Jess as your secretary. She will need a second in order for us to move forward with a vote.
Just a stupid question. I probably shouldn't ask.
Ask.
Can you motion to not, like theoretically, can you motion to not have someone do a role? Just theoretically, just because I just thought of it and I was thinking about it, I was like, in like an actual like, well, this is actual, like in like more like where it's more competitive, can you motion? Like if you don't like either candidate to have someone not be it?
Actually.
No, you just wouldn't vote on them.
Yeah, or you could direct, I mean, if you wanted to make a motion to just say, you know, let's, for something else, you know, let's go ahead and throw this out again, and let's say for commissioners, where we've got commissioners that apply, let's say you don't feel any of them are good candidates, then you said, let's reopen, to have more applicants come in, because these applicants aren't, you know, qualified enough, so that
generally.
you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't appoint any of them, but you would kind of direct us to
Okay.
further.
So generally, you would have the motion, you would have a second, and then you would have a discussion. At that point, people can take turns saying, I'm very excited about the slate of officers that have been presented to us. And you could expound somebody's qualities. You could also say, you know, we've only got one candidate, but I really don't feel that this person is right for the job, and I can't support them in a particular measure, and if the vote fails, then yes, you have to go through the whole process again, but really, you wouldn't make a motion to not have somebody,
Okay.
you would just speak up during open discussion about why you don't think that that person would be right for the job.
Don't worry, I wasn't intending to do that, I was just out of
Are
curiosity.
you sure?
Yes.
All right,
I motion.
you,
Thank you.
would you like to be
Sure,
Motion maker?
motion,
okay,
wait, what?
our motion maker to appoint
Oh, yeah, sure.
Jess as
I'll
our
motion to appoint, yeah, as chair, or secretary.
secretary? Okay, do we have a second for that motion?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Jackson. Okay, can I get a hand count on those in favor? And you can vote on yourself.
Vote for yourself.
Okay, perfect, motion carries.
Like, you know, this Jazz voted for someone else.
All right, second, will be our vice chair. Is anybody interested in volunteering as a vice chair? All right, Jeremiah.
I will.
Okay, so would anybody like to motion to elect,
I motion to elect Jeremiah as chair, or as vice chair.
thank you, Jackson? Who would like to second that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Hand count of who would like in favor? Perfect, 5. Motion carries, 3 absent. 3 absent. All right, and then we have, sorry, I'm just making a note for myself. Any volunteers, for our chair position? Okay, so at this point, would anybody like to make a motion to select either, of our 2 commissioners as our chair?
I would motion to select Johan as chair.
I'll motion to select Jackson.
So for now, since he was our first motion maker, we have to first go with his motion. So in order for this motion to die, we would, 1, not have somebody second, or 2, depends on the vote,
Okay.
correct?
Yes. Or
Mhm.
we could have a ballot vote
Okay,
if we wanted to do it that way.
What if they both gave a little speech why they should be?
actually, yeah.
So
On a completely different note, do you have a coin?
So we can say that 2 people have been nominated. And now both of the commissioners will speak. At that point, we will have a ballot vote. And if there's a winner, then it's over. If it's, well, it's not gonna be a tie, so.
You should not
Hey.
involve in like just.
Hey, the ghost might wanna say.
No, we don't have any ghosts here.
But you
So-
should, you
We have
don't
a
wanna use
Oh, the chair's moving, what?
this.
All right,
I mean, I think ghosts should get representation. Fine with it. They might have a revolution if we don't.
all right, so who would like to talk first?
I can.
You, okay, John, go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Johann Jacob, as you guys know, this is my third year on the youth commission. In the last 2 years, I've had, I think, near perfect attendance for all youth commission meetings. And I've really been interested in continuing and growing the youth commission's service projects and community activities. Some of you might know I was the senior patrol leader for my Boy Scout troop, and I'm almost an Eagle Scout, so I have a lot of leadership experience, and I'm looking to contribute that to the city of Monte Sereno and the youth commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson.
Hello, my name is Jackson Charna. I would like to be chair of the Monte Sereno Youth Commission. My leadership experience is that this is my second year working on the youth commission. I'm a member of the Los Gatos leadership class. I've been the president of the class of 2026. This year, I am the head of the sports commission, so I meet with our athletic director routinely and to make sure all the sports schedules and themes are going. I have been a leader on my sports teams. I played soccer for 8 years and I was the captain for 5 of them. I was the JV captain for the tennis teams for the 2 years I played tennis at Los Gatos. I look forward to being a member of the varsity team this season, and I would like to be chair.
Thank you, Johnson. All right, so at this point, how would you like to proceed with this?
We should, give them a piece of paper and.
Oh, really like professional voting ballot.
I really don't.
Pen?
Yeah, you have it.
Like we have some of you. Okay. I'll let you pick them up, the one.
Okay.
J. Close enough, J. No, I'm not gonna remember that, it's gonna be done. Yeah. Like. Yeah. Oh,
You're the last guy.
yeah, let me consider my notes.
Maybe efficient and repeated.
Yeah, I'm bipartisan, hold up. Hey Siri, flip a coin.
No, come on.
Okay,
He's voted off the island.
oh, wait, it's not the island, but it changed it.
Congratulations, Johan.
Oh, thanks.
Youth commission for this year.
Thanks.
And thank you, Jackson, for
Yeah, good job,
also
Jackson.
volunteering to
Yeah,
be it. Sure appreciate it.
Are you voted off the island?
It might have been, I was trying to flip a coin to make it fair.
Yes, thank you so
I
much.
panicked. There, he's mad at me.
Don't give it away.
They all know who it is, okay? It's not like.
You don't
Good
know
job.
this is sort of like, this is where it's like.
Shut up.
See, I would have not known. All right, you guys, okay, so do you have
Here's a
do you
state
have a copy
secret.
of the agenda?
Yeah.
Can you proceed with taking over the meeting for me?
Sure.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thanks.
We're on
Um,
item number 2.
Okay, so, oops, it looks like item number 2 is appoint a youth commission representative to the Better Streets Commission. And it looks like the staff recommends that we appoint a representative to the Better Streets Commission that I'm guessing would represent us in the Better Streets Commission meeting.
Correct.
Will this be a representative for the whole year or each
So
month?
technically, it really should be one person. There was a year where we alternated with individuals, but in reality, it really should be one member. Our Better Streets Commission meets every other month. And as of now, they're scheduled to meet in December. So they only have a couple of meetings. It's really to sit through and listen. It's a great opportunity to kind of listen to projects that the city has, happening, or, it's also really great to have some opinions of our youth and incorporated into their discussion. I want to say that you participated once and were
Yeah.
able to give some really good feedback. So, I think it's valuable. There's nobody interested, and I'd like to hear, what alternatives you guys have in terms of, some participation, some representation of the youth commission in the Better Streets, if possible.
Sure. Would there be anyone interested in representing us in the Better Streets Commission?
So what would the Better Streets Commission like be mainly focusing on? Like, I know it's like Better Streets.
So they have projects, a lot of our pavement improvements, street improvement projects. They also have, many topics such as like, the bison pedestrians projects happening. I mean, there's so many other
Traffic
things.
calming,
Yes.
traffic calming, speeding.
Recently they actually, had a project of having the bumps over at the Dave's Avenue
Mm.
by the school. I guess people are speeding through, so I think after a couple meetings and having folks attend the meeting, we kind of heard back from the public and they wanted something done with that street, so they had a lot of involvement in that. So I don't know what other projects are gonna be coming up, but it's one time, they actually meet every other month and they meet the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. So they meet on Thursdays at 7 and it's the second Thursday,
And you don't meet during the summer, correct?
and they don't meet during the summer, yeah. And at this point, the participation of the youth commission would only be during the time that you guys are also active, which is your school year, and that's it.
So I think I could be, I can try to, yeah, I think I'll be interested.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I could also, like,
Okay.
Well, let's say,
Let's
so
open it for
that
public comment.
everybody has a chance to have a leadership position. Why don't we give it to Jackson?
Sure.
If that sounds good, and we'll just.
Yeah.
How's that sound? And I really would like to see everybody get
Involved.
something interesting to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right,
before we
Hamilton, you're
proceed,
next.
No, I knew you
before
were
we
gonna say.
proceed, let's go ahead and open, always remember, after our discussion, let's go ahead and go into, opening for public comment.
Sure.
Seeing that there's none, we can proceed with closing.
Okay, yeah, seeing that there's no hands raised or anyone in the chambers, we can proceed. Could someone make a motion to approve Jackson as our youth commission representative to the Better Streets Commission?
I can motion that.
Second, who's like,
Okay, sounds good.
vote.
Right,
Could we have?
congratulations. So it's a very interesting,
Thank
it's a
you.
very interesting position. I remember when I first got involved with the city, I was in a commission similar to this, or it became kind of the forefather of the Better Streets and Roads Commission. And, there's some interesting stuff that goes on in terms of seeing how projects inside of the city actually come to fruition.
What type of projects?
Things like crosswalks, speed bumps, as you heard, the S curve over on Dave's Avenue. That was instigated by the Better Streets Commission, trying to get sidewalks, safe routes to school. The bollards on the street that everybody loves so much. That all starts at the Better Streets Commission. And then one of the biggest issues that I hear as a council member is There's a lot of speeding that goes on in our town. What do we do to combat that? And so you'll probably talk about that at some point also. And I know one of the members of the commission has some interesting ideas he's going to bring to the December meeting. So, enjoy.
Yeah, that's interesting. And congrats, Jackson. I guess we can move on to our next agenda item, which is discussion of the proposed food book or code drive list on the youth commission activities. So, for this, as we had previously discussed, we wanted to do a food book or code drive. Would we like to narrow it down to a specific one of those, like just food, just books, or just codes? And when would we like to open this or start this drive and end it?
So let me just give you a little bit of
Sure.
background. In the past, the code drive has been very successful. And you guys usually start it around this time of the year and go through December. So then at the end of the month of December, you know, the donation is made. So that's just kind of a glimpse of what has been done in the last couple years. We can go any direction you guys discuss.
Yeah.
Does it have to be exclusive to one of the options, or can it be like all three? And just be like a major drive?
Say that again, I'm so sorry.
Does it have to be exclusive to either food, books, or codes, or can it be like all three?
I mean, it can be really whatever you guys want. At this
Okay,
point.
cause I was just thinking, like, I think it'd be best like if we don't limit and just have as many things possible to come.
Yeah, just like a general, like
Or-
donation.
Or like add like toiletries and things like that as well.
Yeah, I think,
Completely up to you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Jeremiah, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I like the idea of like just a general, drive, like food, book or whatever drive, right? I was thinking about mainly for the code drive, like, and I also think, cause a lot of other like, there are many other, like food banks and stuff like that, right? But what I haven't really noticed is that a lot of people, or a lot of other people like need, warmer clothing as well. So I was maybe thinking about like code drive as would be a successful direction to go for,
Okay. Yeah, I think the only thing to consider when having many items being collected is that we would have to kind of sort them and then give them to different charities because like I think most food banks only take like food items and you'd have to give the coats and books to different charities. So that's just something to think about, but we could meet up and do that before the stuff is donated. Are there any other thoughts or ideas on this? On what direction we should go through on the drive?
Can we also try to include toiletries as well as an addition?
Okay,
or hygiene products as well, something like that.
Yes, things like soap or deodorant,
Necessities.
shampoo. That stuff is so valuable for a lot of these folks. I'll just give you a suggestion. Every year, I usually have my 6-month checkup at the dentist and I ask them if I can have some samples, 10 or 15 or 20, and they're usually very happy to give them to me. They'll usually give me at least 10. And that's usually a little tube of toothpaste and a toothbrush in a little plastic bag. So if anybody's going to the dentist soon, there's an easy way to pick up some personal toiletries.
yeah, definitely. So then I think it looks like we'd like to broaden this from just one specific item to having a food book.
Well, do we want the book involved or do we want to just focus on anything that is more essential?
Yeah,
I was thinking like more essentials. Yeah, more necessities, like things that people like kind of like need to have in the time.
Okay, so just from what I'm hearing at this point, it would be food, coats. And then
I think toiletries.
Toiletries.
or the trees. And coats could be sweatshirts, hoodies,
Jackets, yeah. Mhm. Okay.
things like that.
Okay, are there any other, are there any other comments from commissioners on this item, or are we good to take public comment? Are there any public comment?
No hands are raised.
Okay. With that, do we need a motion to approve this? Do we have a motion to, or?
Motion to approve it.
Sure.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get a vote to approve the drive.
Okay.
It's unanimous. Okay,
Thank you.
now we can move on to the fourth item, which is the discussion of the Monte Sereno Youth Commission in the annual Children's Christmas slash Holiday Parade 2024.
Okay, so I've met with our interim city manager and she's asked that I get a head count on our participants for the holiday parade. This year it'll be Saturday, December 7th. We plan on meeting here and then offering some coffee and, pastries and so forth and just walking over together. Nothing fancy. We'll have our city vehicle leading us and then we'll be joining our city council and we're extending the invitation to our commissioners with Better Streets as well as Sight and Arc. So I just need a head count on how many folks can attend. We just ask that you wear holiday clothing, something attire, some attire with the holidays. We'll provide some Santa hats and just want everybody to, come along with us. We'll be walking for the parade.
Oh,
And I can't tell you the time right now, but at least know that it'll be the first part of the morning.
okay.
So the parade generally goes off at 11 o'clock. And we try to get everybody there at 9.
Okay, and this year we're kind of keeping it simple. We're not trying to brainstorm any ideas because I think we're too short on time. I think that's something we could have done in a other meeting to discuss. But I just really want to emphasize the importance of our presence this year because we haven't been present in, I think, the last year or so. So highly encouraging for that. And no motion needs to be done today. I think as long as you guys are all taking this information today, it's just kind of just informal here. And just let me know, between now and the end of the month, if that's something that you guys will be able to attend.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to understand who here is able to attend. I'm actually really sorry I can't attend because I'll be in another float this year. But from when I've previously gone with the youth commission, it was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun marching. I've been in the parade in other floats also. It's been a lot of fun. So it would be something I highly recommend if you're available that weekend.
Are you gonna float in a different parade or in the same parade?
I'm in the youth, it's for the Los Gatos Youth Citizens.
But it's the same parade.
Yeah, same parade,
'Cause I was
yeah.
gonna say, we're going to be at the very front. We're usually, I'll say, in the 20s when we go off. And it's pretty easy to go, and then you kind of peel off. Once we make
Yeah.
the turn on Main Street, you just walk back.
Oh,
Like a 5-minute walk back, and then you can participate in your second group. So you get to go twice.
yeah, I have
If you
done
want
that before, but this year I'm gonna be in the, I think, very first car. So I don't think there will be enough time to walk
Not
back.
if you're in the first part, no. 'Cause
Yeah.
If we're in the 20th, we're gonna be
Oh, yeah, right,
real
yeah.
close behind you.
Yeah, that's why I'm sorry that I can't join with you guys, but I'd love to see who all is able to attend.
I would also get to inform that I won't be able to join as well because I'm also gonna be in the same parade, but for marching band color guard, so.
You'll be going off in the front too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will, so.
So no pressure, but let me know if you guys will be able to attend the parade. Okay.
I don't know yet, but I will let you know.
Yes, I don't expect an answer right now, but take this back home, talk to your families and see it, because I know that it's on a Saturday and I don't know if anybody's got anything else going on.
And also, in the past, we've always made it available to your friends too. So if you'd like to invite your friends to come with you, the more the merrier. invite them to come and walk with you. It's a 20-minute walk.
Yeah,
And like Boise said before, we used to set up a float, take it the whole way, disassemble it at the end. No, this time we're just gonna keep it simple, start at 11, or you walk from Bachman and Santa Cruz, and we stop at Los Gatos High School. And then at that point, you're free to go wherever you wanna go, so invite as many people as you would like.
yeah, definitely. But were you gonna say something?
yeah, I was gonna say, can you let me know though if they are going, because I don't wanna go by myself, that'd be kind
Oh,
of.
we'll be there. You've got the council, you've got commissioners, so there'll be plenty of us to go.
Yeah.
So if you can join us, we'd love to have you there.
Yeah, we're gonna go off and kind of, I mean, it's, in the past, it's always been the council and the youth commission. And this time we're gonna
That's what they-
squeeze even
council
a
and
little
council.
bit closer together.
Yes, there you go. Okay, perfect. Well, this is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good, so, yeah, I guess if you're able to attend, please let Goizy know so she can get a count. I think we can now move on to the fifth agenda item, which is approve the meeting minutes from our October 8th Youth Commission meeting. I think we have a staff report for this.
No staff
Oh.
report, just if there's any comments, please let me know. And
Okay.
if not, we'll proceed with public comment.
Okay. Are there any comments on this item from the commission? Okay. Are there any public, hands raised or,
No hands are
okay.
raised.
And it looks like there's no one in the chamber, so there are no public comments. With that, would someone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 8th?
I'll motion that.
Second.
Okay, could we have a vote, please?
So, yes, no. Oh, fine, thank you.
Okay. Great. Now we can move on to our sixth item, which is discuss and consider discuss and consider forming a subcommittee to discuss community events. So I think all of us were there at the last meeting, but we were talking about how we should have a like subcommittee of the youth commission that can kind of plan out the events that are the youth commission does involving the community. Like we had some ideas like a movie night outside in the parking lot, and we've also done the ice cream social. And then I think in the last meeting, we were thinking of extending, having more of those kinds of events this year. So is there anyone interested in joining that subcommittee? I think I would be interested, or I'm interested in helping in that area. But I'd like to hear if there's anyone else who's interested in that as well.
So when would we be like, meeting?
So for a subcommittee, you wouldn't need to, we wouldn't have to, post for it, and you guys can meet anytime.
Oh,
I'm gonna be highly encouraging that I help arrange that meeting so that I can be part of what you guys wanna put together. And it's something you guys could meet every week if you want to, or more than at least the one meeting that we have here, so that in preparation to having our youth commission meeting, you have something to report back and say, okay, for this upcoming year, let's plan out a couple of things. We've discussed this, this, and this. So you're giving folks a little bit more options, more information than if we try to kind of put it all together in that one meeting that we have a month, right? So this is, it gives you more flexibility with not having to violate the Brown Act. So it'll be 2 members forming part of this.
And if you need to, you can get together and do it on a Zoom call if you want
I
to
can
pull
arrange
one
all that
together
stuff.
really, really quickly.
Mhm.
But generally, we'll come in here on some of the commissions, or I'm sorry, some of the committees I'm on. You just come in and sit around this table right here, and we talk about what we need to talk about.
Mhm.
Do we need to, well, I should say, are we basing the membership on the full youth commission in terms of the number, so we don't have any Brown Act violations?
Well, I was
Or
thinking 2, but do you think 3 is appropriate?
I think 3 is a good number.
Okay, we can do 3.
I would be interested in that as well.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who's interested in joining that committee? I think we have.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Would the meetings be like in person, would it be like in Zoom, and like, would they be here, would they be like?
So that's completely up to you guys. So if I have 3 people, I'll coordinate with you guys. If you guys at this point, you know, are pretty busy, but we can squeeze 30 minutes to kind of chat about some ideas you guys have. I'll set up a Zoom meeting and wherever you're at, just, you know, zoom in. If there's a day where you guys have abilities to come in at whatever time, just let me know and I'll coordinate that with you guys here in the office. Yeah, so it could be Zoom or here in the office, for sure, at your availability.
Okay, I would be interested in that.
Great, thank you.
Great.
All right.
Okay, with that, do we need to have public comment on this
Yes.
item? Okay,
But no hands are raised.
okay, sounds good. And there's no one in the chambers that is here, so could someone have a motion to approve the subcommittee for planning events for the youth commission?
I can motion that.
I can second.
Sounds good. Should we have a vote on that? Okay,
Thank you.
Has it been not even, you know,
okay, so the next.
2 minutes ago.
The next item is discussion of a podcast, so at the last meeting, we're talking about possibly doing a youth commission podcast and. Vice Mayor Craig was talking about how KCAT TV, which is a local community TV station that's actually located behind the high school, can help with that podcast. So I'm wondering if there's anyone who has any more they'd like to talk about that, or anyone who want to talk on that podcast first.
I would definitely wanna be involved with the podcast, for sure.
same here.
Okay, sounds good. And some of my thoughts were that we could talk about kind of, I guess, maybe the first podcast could be what is the youth commission and just kind of an introduction to it, since not everyone knows about it. And then we could have specific, after that, we could have like episodes talking about different activities we did, like for example, we do the cans or if we do the cans, coats and toiletries drive, we could have an episode about that. Or we could do an episode on like a community event we do. Are there any other ideas on kind of what the podcast could contain or how they could be structured? Yeah,
I think they could also be like, kind of just like what's going on at each meeting. I think if possible, I don't know, but we can make it joint with the, commission, with the other commissioners, like the non-youth commission. And like, it's just so like people can like listen and like have an idea what's going on. if
Oh,
they're
like
not-
with our Better Streets and Sight and Art?
Yeah, just like have like a one big podcast with like everything. I think that might be an interesting idea.
That would be cool.
So at this point, what would your recommendation be? Should we reach out to, KCAT and let them know that our commission is interested in doing
Yes,
a recording?
I'll reach out to Melissa
Okay, yeah,
And-
that's perfect.
and, work with the youth commission to come up with a, time that we can get together and discuss it and flush out some ideas and stuff like that.
Okay, so it sounds like, yeah, everybody's, at least we have some people on board to participate in that creation of the first step.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll bring this back. This is gonna probably be then an ongoing item that I'll bring it to the next meeting. So at this point, since we have a lot of good feedback, Vice Mayor, Craig will come back with kind of more information on that then, right?
Yes,
Okay.
okay,
perfect.
thank you very much. And it sounds like it'll be something fun and interesting that we can do this year for the youth commission. And then speaking of the do we need to have public comment? Sorry.
But no hands are raised.
Okay.
Every item needs to be
Yeah,
opened and closed, but
Okay.
no hands are raised.
yeah, so since no hands are raised and there are no people, there's no one in the council chambers, we do we need to have a motion to approve this?
No, because we'll be gathering more information and bringing that back.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Our next one is, speaking of the podcast, another thing we were talking about is having a social media page or Instagram page for the youth commission. So I think you were talking about how we could post like short videos or images about what we're doing in the youth commission, and maybe I was thinking we could even take pieces of the clips from the podcast and then put them on the Instagram page, maybe as Instagram reels or something like that.
So just so that you guys know, our city has has a Facebook account and also just our website itself. So if that's something you guys would like to just work off of, so like creating something that you guys would want us to post,
Yeah.
that's definitely doable. I think I just have to try to make sure that it's okay for us if you guys wanted to go the different direction of saying, having an account for the youth commission itself. Because then we want to just make sure, you know, who has access to that and who's
Yeah.
gonna run it more than any.
So I'm just gonna, so I run the Los Gatos Athletics, Instagram account with the athletic director. And like, the way it kind of works is like, the athletic director, like, he would like post some things and then like I would post like more like, you know, like the fun side of things. And it works better that way because it's like a bigger group of people that are following.
Mhm.
And they're not like following like each individual like thing, like each individual sport. So I think like here, if it's like one big thing with like all the committees and all the commissions, then we can have like a reel from like the youth commission or like a post from the youth commission that's on it. Cause I think that would reach a bigger audience rather than like having an account only for the youth commission.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also think that Facebook, it's not outdated, but I just feel like a lot of users, there's not as many users as Instagram nowadays, so I think Instagram would be more beneficial for what we're trying to do with it. But yeah, I think like if we were to make an account, everything would have to be approved, obviously, through you guys before anything's published, and before anything's published, maybe, yeah, we would have to go over everything, just to make sure nothing bad happens, or like anything that can be, you know, shown as bad to the committee itself, and things like that. Right, so.
And you also, you can have the website that we can also like post stuff on there, right, as well.
Most definitely.
And also, if we make like an Instagram account, or something like that, make it like an ad or something like that, somewhere on the website, so that that's like connected with your commission as well, right?
I was just thinking like, it can be like named like, just like Monte Sereno. And like, that's like the account name, and we can have like each bit of like each commission, each committee that posts on it.
Mhm.
So it's like still like from the town, but it's not like specific to a certain commission.
There's something general that could, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. Okay, so one of you guys are recommending, we maybe start something for the city in Instagram, since we don't have that. And then two, it's not just solely focused on the youth commission, but also kind of broadening that up for all the committees and everything we do at the city. Okay.
Yeah, I think, or I also agree with what Jazz was saying. I think since we're the youth commission and we want to target the youth, I think Instagram, a lot of youth use it, so. Might be more beneficial to target or kind of reach out to them. And I like the idea of maybe having it as a Monte Sereno Instagram account where all the commissions post things.
Okay.
But the only thing we need to be careful about is just like making sure everyone has, or whatever videos or pictures we put, that we have everyone's permission before posting them, because sometimes there are people who get like upset that, oh, why did you post my picture without telling me or something like that, so we just should be careful about that.
That's perfect. So then what I'm gonna do is I'll run this back to my interim city manager.
Sure.
And just, like I said, we only have certain accounts that let her know, you know, what you guys wish to do. And maybe this is something, our goal would be something we start at the beginning of next year, if that's okay with you guys. I'll come back with more information. of what we're gonna, launch.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, perfect. So no motion action needs to be taken. I'll bring this item
Okay.
back at the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay?
and are there any public comments on this item?
No hands are raised.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for taking this forward to the city manager. With that, are there any comments from youth commissioners on anything we've discussed or anything else?
I don't know.
Okay, and then are there any future agenda items?
So in terms of
go ahead.
future agenda items, I just wanted to see if there were any guest speakers that you would be interested in hearing, or any types of speakers. We could try to get anybody from our county supervisor to come in, any of the different departments that are around here. We have a lot of really cool people that live in the city that would probably like to come in and talk about the business that they're in, or some passion project that they have. So, yeah,
I was just wondering if like we can get like a parent or somebody in here that just like, they're not like specific to a certain group or anything. But like, they live here, like just like from like their perspective of just like how like, the streets are, like how people like are biking or just anything. Like, I think it might just be an interesting perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can post in our e-blast. Volunteers to come and be guest speakers for the youth commission in the upcoming meetings. So maybe we could have random folks that want to come and share a little bit of their knowledge, experience, or just what they love about the city of Monte Sereno, and have them as guest speakers here.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can reach out to some former council members and other people that I just know in my neighborhood.
That's fantastic.
Like I know my wife would like to come in and talk to you. Just to let you know, I had 3 kids go through the youth commission. So pretty, GC's helped out a number of times. And she's always been interested in trying to make sure this group has as much success as they can have. And as much fun as they can have. She loves that.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea, and that might also bring some people to come and listen to the talks and also get them interested in the youth commission.
Yep.
So are there any other future agenda items? Okay, I guess with that, we can adjourn the meeting, but before I do that, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming and having so many great ideas today.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, meeting adjourned at 7:56 PM.